Shihoko Goto is a senior Northeast Asia associate at the Woodrow Wilson Center's Asia program here in Washington. She joins me via Skype to discuss Abe's visit. Shihoko, how significant is Abe's visit to Pearl Harbor side by side U.S. President Barack Obama?
It really represents a full circle in the relationship between the United States and Japan. Pearl Harbor is a flashpoint for the Americans remembering World War II. For the Japanese, that is Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Obama visited Hiroshima earlier this year and paid his respects to those who perished under the nuclear attacks. Abe is doing the same to those who died in Pearl Harbor under Japanese attacks. So by the leaders of each country paying their respects to each other's countries, this does say that they agree to understand the horror of war together, and they want to really move forward in promoting peace in the future.
So the U.S. and Japan say they're putting 75 years of resentment behind them, but what about the countries that Japan invaded, including China? Certainly, they don't see it that way.
This will certainly be an opportunity for Japan to acknowledge not just its past as a victim of war, of being attacked by the Americans, but also of Japan as an aggressor, invading other countries, not just China, Korea, and beyond, well into Southeast Asia as well. Bear in mind that Japan has, including the Japanese emperor himself, has expressed remorse and regret in many of these actions, but this should really be yet another step that makes clear that Japan really does want to own history and to understand that the sufferings it caused.
And clearly those words of regret by Shinzo Abe or other government officials, they certainly do not go far enough for China. You know, we talked about the Nanjing massacre, hundreds of thousands of Chinese massacred in many say amounts to what the Nazis did to the Jews during World War II. So how do we get beyond this? How do we heal the painful wounds of World War II after 70 years if China still has not gotten what it believes is a formal, sincere apology?
Right. I think this is where the lesson comes in. The United States, with Obama going to Hiroshima, there are some Japanese who said that Americans have never really truly apologized for dropping not one but two nuclear bombs. But at the same time, by being able to move forward on that, to acknowledge the mistakes that were made and to say never again is perhaps the biggest lesson that history can teach that. This is the hope for the Abe visit to Pearl Harbor. And the Japanese will assess how successful this visit is by monitoring not just U.S. media reaction, but global media reaction from war veterans in the United States and beyond, to see whether there is an ability for victims, aggressors to really come to terms and to be able to move forward. This comes at a time when there is a lot of change in the Asia-Pacific region, not least as the United States. There are questions about how engaged the United States will be in the Asia-Pacific region from here on out.
All right, we'll leave it there. Shihoko Goto, thank you so much.
Thank you.